We begin invoking the blessings, inspiration, guidance, protection, and transmission of the principal female lineage matriarch of Tibetan Buddhism, Machig Labdrön, 14th, the 12th century master head of the ego-cutting lineage, Chud lineage, Machig. Her name means the unique feminine or the unique mother, invoking her, representing all, embodying and representing all the enlightened ones.
Page 12.
Mala Sawadet, Amachig Mala Sawadet, Om Machig Mala Sawadet, Karpa Ayeshekela, Papa Ayeshenkela. Ngamba hungye shekela pusa dungye chunjampa maya chengamba dabasho.
Page 1.
Janyul jina chasa bemaya sadampala yatse chaginga janya bema jane shesudra Godu kandra mampaka keki Jesu tatui shigela cheshesu sa Guru pema siddhi hung om ahung ahung benza Guru pema siddhi hung ahung benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi O Buddha Dharma Sangha Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. 3 jewels, 3 roots, 3 kayas. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Refuge, sanctuary, solace. Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Outer, inner, and subtlest. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Buddha guide us. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Teach us, inspire us, show us the way. Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Embodying it, modeling it. Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. The blissful, wise way of awakening. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi, including one and all. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. You, me, we. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. 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 Open our body and mind, heart and soul and spirit. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. With your uplifting sattvic energy. Om Aham Pema Siddhi. Bodhicitta, the spirit of awakening. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema. The enlightened heart mind. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Awakening Buddha-ness within. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Lotus Guru, empower each of us. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema. Transmit to each of us. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Transmit your wisdom, compassion, and energy. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Beaming into each of us. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema. As if you're right before us and all around us, heart to heart, mind to mind transmission. Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Flooding us with light, illumining us, awakening all. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Through the magic of Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Imaho Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru. Merging with us. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. One with each of us at the heart center. Om Aham Benza Guru Pema Siddhi. At the heart of it all. Om Aham benza guru pema siddhi hum om benza pema siddhi hum benza guru pema siddhi hum om ahung hri om ahum benza guru pema imaho om ahu benza guru pema siddhi hum om ahum benza guru pema siddhi hum ahum benza guru pema siddhi hum. Enjoy that, savor that subtle prana energy, awareness raised by chanting Guru Yoga practice. The samadhi beyond the dualism of oneness and noneness. The lights are on, but no one's home. Imaho. Simply resting at the origin of all things. Pure presence, the great Tao of nowness, right now. Imaho. Just sitting, just breathing, just being. One and inseparable with the three pillars of natural meditation, Buddha's meditation, Dzogchen meditation, of the innate great perfection or completeness, just as it is, things as they are. Practicing the practice of freedom, called leave it as it is, just as it is, the justness, the lawfulness, the rightness and the perfection of things just as they are. Nirvanic peace in things as is, as the enlightened teacher said. Leave it as it is and rest your weary heart and mind. See through everything. See through. Remain undeceived by all momentary, illusory, dreamlike appearances, outer and inner phenomena and noumena. See through everything and remain free, at ease, undeceived, lucidly clear, centered, present, wakeful, attentive, aware. Naked awareness, awareful. Awareness, aware of itself. Mind to mind. See through yourself and all momentary, illusory things, all projections and concepts. See through yourself, seeing Buddha, being Buddha. Imaho. Let go. Let Buddha do it through you. Offer your seat to her, him, it. Let go and let Buddha do it. Sit through you. Breathe through you. Chant through you. See through you. Think through you. Be through you. Unedited, unexpurgated, unmanipulated, uninterfered with, without evaluation or judgment, attraction or aversion, pushing or pulling, in great equanimity, great acceptance, openness and awareness, spacious clarity, and translucent, transreal essence, inseparable. Just sitting, Buddha. Just breathing, Buddha. Just being, Buddha. Now, Nimahau. Enjoy the joy of natural meditation. This breath, the only breath. This moment, the only moment. Nimahau. Nani Kuntazampo Yin, oneself as primordial Buddha-ness, as it is. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breathing process as an anchor to present awareness. If you're dull, sleepy, or agitated, take a deep breath, refresh your wakefulness, and start again, fresh, vivid, alertly, attentive, awareful, wakeful, mindful, fully conscious and aware. Nowness awareness is the authentic Buddha. As Tujum Rinpoche says, Tatai Shepa Rigpa Soma Jampa. Nowness awareness is the unfabricated, naked, original Buddha. Rigpa. Rest in that awareness, transparent to itself. See through oneself, seeing Buddha, being Buddha. Imaho.
Page 16, Mantra 3.
Om Mani Padme Hung. Mani Padme. Mani Padme Hung. Mani Padme Hung. The mantra of love and compassion, Chenrezi. Mani me avaloki teshvara. Mani me Kuan Yin. Mani me the Dalai Lama's mantra. Mani Padme. The mantra of unconditional love, divine, selfless, impartial compassion, forgiveness, joy, mercy, tenderness, equanimity, empathy. Mani Padme. All the heartfelt, warm-hearted virtues. Mani Padme. Wishing and praying, wishing well for all, praying for all to grow and glow together, to be well, happy, fulfilled, peaceful, in harmony, healed. Mani Padme. Transformed, liberated, and enlightened together. Mani Padme. Mani Padme. From the lower belly, bring it out, let it out, open the heart chakra. Oh, that's it. Oh, my. Nice. Padme. Mani. May all beings be happy, content. Mani Padme. Filled, fulfilled, and thrilled. Mani Padme. Thrilling with spiritual juice, spiritual awakening, enlivenment. Mani Padme. Mani Padme. All beings, including oneself. Mani Padme. Yes, you too. Mani Padme. Love for all beings who are just like our own family. Mani. Mani Padme. Our own family wanting and needing the same as we do. Mani Padme. Embracing them with our heart's wings and prayers. Mani Padme. May all be awakened, liberated, free. Mani Padme. Mani Padme. Free in every way, outer, inner, and subtlest ways. Mani Padme. Mani Padme. Joy to the world, joy radiating it. Mani Padme. heart center overflowing with well-wishing and joy, bliss, delight. Padme Padme. Heart center opening like a sunflower. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. Radiating like a warm golden sun. Mane Padme. Chen Rezi. Mane Padme. Buddha of love and compassion within yourself, you. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. Glowing, radiating. Mane Padme. Sparkling light rays reaching out to one and all. Light rays reaching out, radiating to one and all. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. Illumining all, and haloing all, embracing all. Mane Padme. In our heartfelt bodhicitta prayers and practices here today. Mane Padme. This week, this new year, this new decade, this new life. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. Wishing, praying, affirming, may all be healed and whole again. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. May the entire world and the environment itself be healed, restored. Mane Padme. All conflicts resolved, reconciled. Mane Padme. Inner and outer conflicts and separations. Mane Padme. May we all be healed and whole in harmony again. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. Including all in our hearts, prayers and practice. Mane Padme. Our sterling bodhisattva aspirations and resolve intentions. Mane Padme. Our bodhicitta prayers and practice and aspiration. For universal enlightenment, universal well-being and ultimate well-being too. Mane Padme. Nirvanic peace, bliss, freedom and ease. Mane Padme. Mane Padme. Joy to the world, radiate joy, radiate blessings and benedictions. Don't be stingy. And share your blessings, benedictions, and well-wishing, your loving kindness, and compassion with one and all, including oneself. Including oneself, embracing and including oneself. Mane Padme. Loving oneself as well. Accepting oneself, warts and all. Forgiving yourself, everything. Mane Padme. Gratitude, appreciation, reverence. Mane Padme. sharing it, breathing it in, breathing it out, simultaneous. This delicious, wish-fulfilling jewel of Dharma, of spiritual enlightenment. The indispensable, invaluable bodhicitta, the heart of enlightenment, heart of awakening, innate, great perfection. Gently, softly. Melting, dissolving in inner light, love, clarity, pure awareness, Rigpa. Resting in the arms, on the breast of, in the lap of Chenrezig, the Buddha of love, compassion, savoring it, being it. How sweet it is. Holding it and being held. Behold the Lord Buddha and be held. Simultaneous. Seeing through oneself is seeing Buddha, being Buddha. Imaho. As the vibrations of this gong offering, sound offering, reach out in concentric circles, like the ripples from a stone in a pond, reach out in concentric circles throughout the universe, touching all, including all interconnected, like the butterfly effect, all interconnected, interdependent, interwoven, into beingness. May all together be awakened, liberated, and free, and may we all together complete the spiritual journey. Homage to the Buddha-ness within, the great perfection, innate great perfection, natural great completeness and wholeness. May all be blessed and edified by it. Enjoy this wish-fulfilling gem of innate living spirit. It's nice to be here together in church on Sunday. I don't usually go to church on Sunday, except here a few times a year. I haven't been in church since, I don't know, Christmas Eve, I guess, a few weeks ago. But this is a lovely place to be. the here and now, as always, maybe even a little more present than usual, I hope, through our practice, through our intention, through our applied awareness. Winter is a great time to go inward and be in retreat. Anytime, really. Every day is a good day for that. Every day could be the Sabbath, a day of rest from worldly preoccupations and selfing. Resting at the origin of all things. Every day could be Sabbath. It's a holy day. But particularly today, and particularly now, since this is where we are, in this spiritual sanctuary, taking refuge, finding solace, arriving here at this port in a storm of samsara, of worldly confusion, delusion, greed, hatred, and delusion, as the Buddha called it, the three poisons that spoil this garden of original goodness. Greed, hatred, and delusion, the three poisons that bespoil us and our pure nature, original goodness, our good life, our beautiful family and community and world. This altar of the earth, so rich, abundant with gods and goddesses, Buddhas and bodhisattvas. Yes, also wrathful guardians and protectors and archangels and dakinis. Not all light, not all Pollyanna-ish love and light. Also the fertile dark. Let's not be dualistic or be dualistic about non-dualism either. There's no such thing as dualism. We don't have to fear it. Everything is it. I stray, I diverge. Let me go back to introducing the retreat and talking about some of the things we want to do here. The meditation instructions, the structure of a session, especially if you're new here. We have about a dozen people who've never been, according to what they tell us. You never know, and memory is very faulty, not to mention short-termed, relating to this life only mainly. Tell us they've never been in retreat, so I like to talk a little bit about retreat and what we're doing here in the structure of the session and demystify some of the esoteric Rosicrucian kind of mysteries, you know, demystify the Dzogchen code. If you're new here, it might seem a little, you know, foreign here in this Buddhist temple, talking in foreign languages, Buddhist jargon, and so forth. Chanting in Tibetan, etc., my native language. So we talked yesterday about the retreat and the 10 S's, and John Dean, our year-round retreat director, has talked about all the things that you shouldn't do, no doubt, because that's his style, and no fun, and no smiling, and no eye contact, and no dancing, and no singing, and no drinking, and no sexing, and no, I don't know, I have a whole different list than you have, and no smoking, and no candles, and no incense. And it's kind of like the Heart Sutra, you know? No this, no that, no nothing. At the end, but you're supposed to feel, but it's really something special. Hopefully by the end of the week, you might feel some of that. I don't know. You never, otherwise you get your money back. From John Dean, don't call me. He lives in Rochester, New York, by the way. You can find him. Every meditation session here in our retreat, following the Tibetan tradition, the Buddhist tradition, has three parts. You might want to take notes if you knew. The beginning, the middle, and the end. Technically known as the three invaluables or indispensables, the Dhampasam. So we have a well-rounded and grounded practice session. Just like with physical exercise, warming up, the main part, and then the cooling down periods are all very important so you don't pull your muscles, etc. So in the beginning, we begin with some so-called foundation of preliminary practices, let's say, warm-up exercise, turning the heart and mind to the Dharma. Let's say we come home from work. It's hard to just sit down leap into the lotus position, stop and drop, stop the momentum of the day and drop into just being, resting at the origin of all things, awareing. It's hard. So first, a little relative practice, warm-up exercises. Excuse me, chanting, praying, lighting a candle, altar practice, whatever you do, bowing, breathing exercises. So we begin every session with the chanting, let's say, and the breathing. Don't get confused by different chants. These are just the different songs of warming up. Of course, in other levels of practice, we could concentrate on them. There's a lot of rich practice in each of them we could do. As in Tibetan Buddhism, we do in great detail, hundreds of thousands of those mantras, along with mudras, physical gestures, and so on, asanas, postures, ways of sitting, ways of gazing, and other things, visualizations, the inner postures and gestures of awareness, breath, energy, work, and so on. But here we're just using them for a little practice of chanting and breathing, getting out of our head into our body and soul. Chanting is a great healing and harmonizing energy practice. Very soulful and rich for many of us, not all. So we begin with the chanting, breathing, and so on. These are all rather conceptual. They have a form. They have content. They have ideas and words associated with them. Form practice. And then we go into the main practice, the naked awareness practice. In English, the silent meditation. The main practice, non-conceptual, without form, more formless practice. Openness and awareness inseparable. The main practice that I'm teaching here this week, Dzogchen Tregchud, cutting through or seeing through practice. We'll talk about that later. The main practice, naked awareness practice, natural meditation. Awareness alone. Not visualizing, not chanting, not praying, not radiating light, not healing, not generating or radiating loving kindness, compassion, all of that stuff. Good stuff, but just more stuff. Good karma, but still karma, conditioning karma. The main practice. And then, to complete our practice, we go out singing and praying and dancing. As Thomas Merton, the great monk, said, God prays by dancing. Buddha prays by singing, as Thomas Merton didn't say. So we go out sharing the merits, dedicating the merits, as it says in Tibetan Buddhism. Radiating loving kindness and compassion, wishing well for all, cultivating empathy and compassion, cultivating connectedness, embracing, healing, including, and so on. Sharing the positivity, the merits with all, not just hoarding it for ourselves, going out of our meditation and trying to keep it to ourselves. And when our family, our kids, our colleagues, our neighbors, whoever approaches, going, get off. I want to keep my meditation going. No. On the cushion Dzogchen and off the cushion Dzogchen, not separate. Differentiated, but not different. Each with their qualities. In meditation, focusing more on the naked awareness, the transparent emptiness aspect. And in post-meditation, in life, more on the forms, the interconnections, the karmic, compassionate, moral, ethical, connected dimensions of life. In meditation, whatever comes up, seeing through it, illusory, dreamlike, momentary experiences, whether red, green, or yellow, not changing our direction or the speed of our awareness. In life, it's very important to know the difference between red, green, and yellow and adjust accordingly. You with me? Like when you're driving. Form and emptiness, inseparable. So in meditation, emphasizing more the seeing through, the non-reactive, equanimous awareness, and in post-meditation, the very connected, discriminating, nuanced decision-making about what's helpful and harmful, for example, what's conducive and unconducive to enlightenment or sanity, what's wholesome and unwholesome, as they say in Buddhist texts, what's skillful and unskillful, what's virtuous and vice, discriminating in post-meditation. So we go out singing and praying, sharing the positivity with the world. So as we walk off out of our meditation seat into action, even here, though we're not going to work and we're not going to family breakfast table, we sort of are. From here we go to the family lunch table, even though it's silent. What a relief. Even though it's silent. or maybe not. It's the family, it's the Sangha, it's the satsang, it's the Sangha, it's our spiritual community. It's different, isn't it, when you get up off and you have to wait online to even get out the door, or you might start to feel impatient. Well, when you're sitting and meditating, you never feel impatient, right? It's different. When you're sitting and meditating, you allow the impatience and you understand not to react to it. That eventually the Lama will wake up and ring the gong. Oh, is he asleep? An hour, 2 hours, what? No, eventually. So in meditation, we have a great openness to what comes next. But in post-meditation, we may have lost that. We have a great impatience for what comes next, always leaning forward, pushing, demanding, striving, hurrying. Even when we're driving, are we really sitting in our seat? Or are we more or less where we think we're going? Then we're not even there, but we're not here either. Where the hell are we? We're in limbo. That's the very definition of bardo, limbo, stuck in between. Let's make the stuck in between, which is actually our true state, to being now. That's awakening in the bardo of every moment. Because we are in between, everybody always in transition. It's even called the bardo in Tibetan, the bardo of after birth until death. Just to point out, it's not just after we die that's a bardo, or a dream, it's a bardo where we can wake up, or the moment of death we can wake up in the clear light. The clear light is dawning every moment. Take the pillow off your eyes and ears, friends. So, the 3 parts of any meditation: waking up to the warming up, waking up in the main practice, and waking up as we move into action, from view, meditation to action, from the sitting, the formal practice meditation period to the post-meditation period, as we say in Tibetan Buddhism. So the essence is the same, but the activity or the application is a little different. Essence and application. So again, we might go out with the chanting a little different mantras, but it's the same principle of opening and sharing and form, coming back into form and interconnectedness and sensing what's going on. Not just seeing through everything with great one taste, but recognizing the unity and diversity and dealing with the diversity through the unity of our own outlook or a Buddha mind. The unique singularity of Rigpa, or our true nature, that can take any form, no problem, no obstacle, inclusive, penetrating, unobstructed. Buddha nature, bodhicitta, tathagata garbha, Buddha-ness. There's a lot I could say on that subject, but I want to continue to talk about the retreat and introducing us. If you're an old student, I know you're listening and hearing all kinds of things. Other things, I hope. Even things somehow that I never heard before from my mouth. This is surprising, what you people demand. Pull out of me, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this, we must do it together. Even the Dalai Lama says, you can't get enlightened without others. If you're newish to Buddhism, or if you're Theravadan Buddhist, or you read the original scriptures, you might think that you have to do it yourself, but that's not really true. Everybody, even original Buddhists, took refuge in the Buddha teachings and the Sangha. The higher power in Buddhism, the 3 gems, I call a shared power, the common power. We can get a lot of help from others and from, quote, outside, because there is no outside. The problem is, if we say we don't need anyone else or help from outside, we're still laboring on the delusion of outside and inside. We think we're going to get it from inside. There's nothing inside that's not outside, and vice versa. So we take refuge in the Sangha, the community, the group, the fellowship, the love and compassion, as well as inside in the Dharmakaya, the shunyata, emptiness, the shining void nature. It's as inseparable, like 3-in-1 oil, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, outer, inner, and subtlest levels of things. Emptiness, radiant awareness, and unobstructed, compassionate action. So yesterday we talked about the 10 S's of retreat practice, and if it doesn't start with an S here, you can't do it. Just joking. I'd like to mention the next level, what I call the new 10 S's of retreat practice, which may be getting a little old for you old students, or not, We try to keep it alive. One of these days I'll come up with the third level of the newest 10 S's. First, Sangha, community, very important. And that fits well, doesn't it, with our practice of pure perception and being together here, harmoniously and lovingly. We're communicating in many ways, even if we're not talking to each other. It's like living together. It's like lovemaking, actually. It's like being together, living together. We're under the same roof. We eat together. We practice together. We go to the potty together. I even understand there's a hot tub somewhere, probably in the girls' bathroom. I don't know, it's in the boys' bathroom. It's on the third floor. Does everybody get to use it, or just one gender? The men are using it? Oh, there's a men's one and a women's one? Yes. Oh, good. I don't have that. Okay. Yes, the men should use the men's one, and the women, I don't know what the women should do. I would never presume to suggest what women should do. Enjoy you decide. I have to ask John what the women should do. He'll tell you. He's the bad cop around here. I prefer to be the good cop, because I'm much more insecure than him. He just tells it like it is, for our benefit. So first, Sangha or community, very important. And second, Seva or service, which is not so stressed here, although some of you have little Sangha jobs, like taking care of, I don't know, I know most of you feel tired. You traveled all the way here, and, lazy and like you're sleepy, or so, But our senior member Evelyn was hopping around yesterday like the Energizer Buddy, like standing up on ladders and hanging things on walls, and it was like I thought, John, what the hell? But that's Evelyn. I mean, we do have Sangha jobs, taking care of the altar, or fortunately we don't have to do the cooking and the dishwashing and the shopping here. Garrison provides that. And some of you are bell ringers, some of you are practice leaders, some of you are meditators. Everybody's doing their Sangha service, Seva, service to God through serving humanity, as we say in Hinduism, Seva. Service to the highest by serving the lowest, as we might say in a non-theistic way. Service, selfless, altruistic service, very important to Sangha. And third, we mentioned this yesterday, sati, mindfulness, carrying that on in all of your activities. And fourth, samadhi, concentration, very important. I can't remember if I mentioned that yesterday in the outer 10 S's. Fifth, sattva, the uplifting energy, getting in tune with the uplift of spirit. Not just giving in to the downward moving energy, tamas, of like overeating and over drinking and overworking and overthinking and overselfing, so that things become claustrophobic, heavy, piled on, old, weighty, whatever, outdated. Keeping it fresh, the uplifting energy. Let me give you an example. The sattvic food that we eat here, the local grown, mostly organic, mostly produce, and so on, rather than the leftover greasy pepperoni pizza that you have in your refrigerator that you eat after a few days. That's tamasic food. And afterwards you feel all like oily, like you need an oil change, like an old car. Uplifting energy. But let me give you a more personal example. How is it, do you ever wonder, I wonder, that Lama Surya Das comes here and does this 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a year, plus every weekend or every day somewhere, and is still, and he's so ADD, he's so eclectic, he's so into new things, he's so seeking, exploring, truth-seeking, that he's still doing the same old Om Mani Padme Hum, and Om Hum Vajraguru Pema Siddhi Hum, and the same old sitting and breathing. After how many years have I been teaching? Since 1989. And yet, with some, it's amazing to me too, that some freshness, some spirit comes through, some new things get said. Has any new things been said today yet about the same old 10 S's, or what were we talking about this morning? I can't remember. The beginning, the middle, and the And thank you. Practices, the good student. See, she takes excellent notes. If you want to check your notes, you check with Jess. She has every detail. It's amazing. That's the freshness. Try to tune into that. You have that yourself. That's the point. This is not about me. This transpersonal being is fresh, ever virginal, youthful, as we say in Tantra and Tibetan Buddhism. Ever fresh, virginal, 16-year-old Dakini. All of us. I mean, look at Evelyn. She's the funniest, freshest, smart aleckiest person, most wonderful, beautiful person here. We should all grow up to be like her. She's like the Gilda Radna of the Dzogchen Sangha. Or better, what's a Tina Fey of the Dzogchen Sangha. I should be more updated. Sorry, Evelyn, I have my straight man here. I need a straight woman that I can, you know. Oh, good, yeah. You came out, finally? You see? New things emerge at every retreat. Who knew? Just remember, what happens at Dzogchen stays at Dzogchen. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I'm a samsaraholic. Okay. 6, Samaya, the commitment, the bond with the practice, the bond with the Buddha that each of us has, feels, or relate to. But Samaya also means the bond or commitment with the teacher and student, and it works both ways. And the teaching and the deity, the inner deityness of the Buddha. Samaya, that's a big subject in Vajrayana Tantric Tibetan Buddhism. We could talk about another time. And 7, Siddhi, spiritual power. Not just psychic powers, but your own empowerment and energy and dynamism. Being in touch with that. These are inner S's, not to overlook. And how to raise this sattvas, uplifting energy, and spiritual power, your own siddhi, your own power, self-power, not just waiting for other power to enlighten you, Messiah to come. Or Shakti to, zap on the head, or the guru to touch you, or waiting for your interview with the teacher or something. In the interview with the teacher, it's not always what you hope it is. Sometimes I just, want to know, like, whatever, I don't know, what are the sports scores from your city? So don't look forward to that. It's all here. The siddhis that you hope to receive from above or from outside, or even from inside. There's nothing inside that's not outside, and vice versa. If it's not here, it's nowhere. If it is here, it's everywhere. Ancient Upanishadic saying. Don't wait, don't postpone it, whatever you think it is, because we all have our form or projection about it. Siddhi, spiritual power. 7th, I don't know if I'm counting. What do we have, 11 here? Oh, 8th, samsara, the vicious cycle of conditioning. This doesn't just mean evil or sin. It doesn't just mean worldliness. Externally, it means worldliness, but internally, samsara is our own confused, deluded, agitated, conflicted mind. That's why we say in Mahayana Buddhism, samsara and nirvana are inseparable. It's here or nowhere. This is the new world, friends. Let yourself arrive here and now on these shores. Don't be a stranger like the prodigal son wandering in foreign lands while you're in your own homeland here. Samsara, the vicious cycle of conditioning. Karma means conditioning, if we're going to demystify it. Not just causation or cause and effect or destiny, conditioning. How an action, and it could be an outer action, physical, or an inner action, mental, like intention and so on. Or words or actions, verbal actions. How action becomes pattern, becomes habit, becomes ingrained habit, like addiction, becomes your character and your destiny. That's karma. How you have your hands on the steering wheel of your life and could use it more skillfully or unskillfully. Master, not victim of karma and conditioning, karma and klesha. And 9, sadhana, practice. So usually sadhana is translated as text or practice, how we do these chants or practices. Sadhana also means like your way of practice, your Torah, your spiritual path. But here I want to translate it as reenactment, how we reenact the autobiography of the primordial Buddha. How we look at it, we study it, we hear about it, we think about it, we look at it, we approach it, we become it, and we be it. Reenactment, sadhana, just like in a Tibetan liturgy where we reenact the life of Tara or Chenrezig or Manjusri or whoever our inner deity, our Ishtavata, our Yidam is. Reenactment. Reenacting the autobiography of Primordial Buddha, that's Dzogchen practice, Dzogchen sadhana. And last but not least, again, sunyata, it always comes back to that. The great mystery, great subjectivity. The things are not what they seem to be, nor are they otherwise, as it says in the Surangama Sutra. The great mystery, shunyata, not just sterile emptiness, that's a sterile translation, but the fullness void, the fertile womb of emptiness. How the more we can empty ourselves out, the more room there is for Buddha nature to freely manifest itself in the world for the betterment of ourselves and all. How spacious awareness practice loosens, decontracts this ego contraction, this tight bubble, like hard-boiled egg-like bubble, frozen in the sea from which it's never apart, the flowing, gently, luminous, beautiful, rich sea. How we can loosen that stuckness, soften that frozenness, decontract that constrictedness in our true nature, our unique selfness, our Buddha nature. So these are the new 10 S's, and maybe for the next retreat we'll come up with a deeper level. I don't know, you never know. Dharma's alive. It's always, let's hope, evolving and applying new situations, new times. So we're practicing the natural meditation, as I call it, Dzogchen meditation, technically known as Tregchud, cutting through or seeing through, or just being through and through, as I would translate it, being, not doing, relying on being, coming back to ourselves. Remember the basic instructions, especially if you're new here, and I know that we'll have a new students meeting this afternoon, right, John? And especially if you're a new student, I trust you're tuned into that. You look at the note board or you get messaged from the staff about that. Just sitting, just breathing, just being aware. The three vital principles or pillars of Dzogchen, natural meditation. There are other ways of practicing, no doubt. There are many ways of practicing, different courses for different horses, different strokes for different folks, whatever you want to call it, different spiritual personalities. There are other ways of practice, many paths to God. The Sufi mystic poet Rumi sang, there are infinite ways to kneel and kiss the ground. He means worship, infinite ways to worship. There is so many ways. This is a way, if I say my way, let's not emphasize the my. This is how I practice. This is my lineage and our lineage that I received from my master and masters going back to antiquity. But it's also very fresh, direct transmission from the source now, not back in history. The inner lineage of connecting deeply from it right now. The primordial Buddha within, not just above your head or your master or back in the past like parents and grandparents and all. They're all within us now, right? I know what my father thinks about what I'm doing. I know what he thinks when I take my nephew to Yankee Stadium. It's like he's there and he's appreciating, he's reveling in heaven, as we say in Yiddish. He's kvelling, even though he's dead. Unfortunately, I also know what my mother thinks. But that's a different story. No, she's reveling too, just in her usual amusing way. They're always with us, similarly with the lineage masters and mistresses. But connecting to the primordial Buddha is not about history and who begat who. It's about who we are, our own autobiography, finally. Not just the biography of that Buddha and the lineage Buddhas that comes down to us or our teacher. It's not about who's in front of the room or who's in the altar or who's up there. It's about who's on your cushion. Do you know that? Until you know that, you can't really know who's up there or who came before and who's coming after. If you want to know God, know yourself. No, I didn't just make that up. Once a seeker in Eastern Europe came to, walked and took carts, and it was a long trip across Europe, Eastern Europe, to see the old rabbi in, I forget where, in Prussia or Eastern Poland, at Kotsk or Minsk or Batsk or Chachk. And he asked the rabbi, where is God? And the reason you need this whole preface is, it's not just like, where is God, one of the 100 things that were mentioned at the cocktail party. He had been thinking about it for his whole life, and for all those miles of walking and trudging, probably through the snow and rain and mud and pogroms, perhaps, to ask the rabbi and find out, because he's looking for God, after all. Not just a cheap answer. He wants to know what the greatest thinker of the people, his people, think. And the rabbi said, where are you? This is a true Hasidic story. The rabbi said, where are you? Can we begin there? That's kind of the Buddhist, that was like the Buddhist question. What is suffering and dissatisfactoriness and dysfunction, the first noble truth? And what's its cause, the second noble truth? And what's the path beyond that, the fourth noble truth? And what's the goal? Or what, is there anything beyond that? That's the third noble truth, nirvanic peace. So who are you? Where are you? Who's sitting on your seat? That's how you experience the biography of the primordial Buddha. That's the task of Dzogchen. But let's not get too abstract in the beginning of this retreat. Coming home to ourselves, just sitting, just breathing, just being aware of the three jewels, the three meditators' jewels of refuge. Just sitting, Buddha body. Your body is Buddha body, Nirmanakaya, Tulku, perfect embodiment, perfect incarnation, as it is, just sitting. First principle or pillar. Second, just breathing. Natural breath and energy is Buddha's breath and energy. Pure flow, let it go. Sambhogakaya, blissful delight. Immaculate manifestation. And third, natural mind is Buddha's heart mind, Dharmakaya, let it be. Not trying to polish it, purify it, transform it, pretty it up, visualize it as a Buddha instead of you, the natural mind is Buddha mind, Dharmakaya. The pure light, the divine mind. What words can express the inexpressible, the ineffable. It's beyond words and concepts, but this is the meditation instruction for this natural meditation. Just sitting, just breathing, just being aware, wakeful. Nowness awareness is the true Buddha within, as the masters say. We're all Buddhas by nature. We only have to awaken to that fact, to who and what we truly are, recognize who and what we are. That's our sole spiritual task. We're all Buddhas, but not Buddhists. God forbid. We're all Buddhas by nature. It's only adventitious obscurations which momentarily cover it. That's the Dzogchen text. That's from the Hivajra Tantra, the Laughing Diamond Tantra scripture. We're all Buddhas by nature. It's only momentary obscurations which veil it from us. So why don't we feel it? Why don't we see it? Why do we feel like crap so much of the time? Or worse, think the other ones are like crap and not Buddhas? These are some questions one might have or should be chewing on even before you came here or ever heard the word Buddhism. What keeps us from it if it's everywhere? If God is everywhere, not just in church or synagogue or mosque or mountaintop or forest, if God is everywhere, why don't we see him or her? Why don't we feel it? Isn't that a basic human question? If God is within, why do we feel like crap within? Or people feel that the next person is full of shit most of the time? As you yourself told me. So I'm not just picking on Mike. He told me that this morning when he brought me my breakfast. We all feel like that, at least sometimes. Maybe not as much as him. Maybe more. Any questions, please, especially about our practice, but really anything. Yes, in the back there. Thank you for breaking the ice.
My question's about physical obstacles.
Uh-huh.
I try to sitting and being with my body and my breath and accepting where I'm at in this moment, but quite often that involves physical pain. I'm nervous.
Just take a breath and relax. Are you in pain now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you usually in pain, or only when you meditate, or have to talk in
All
public?
the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I've had 9 surgeries over a couple of years from a serious illness, which I recovered from, but it's really hard for me to stay present when I sit with and find peace and acceptance.
That's what I'm saying now. Just see if you can breathe and relax a little and slow down, and just see if you can do it now while we're like doing this together, going through this together. I know it's terrifying speaking in public, especially to these people. I mean, just look around. I mean, it's the most judgmental, know-it-all people in the Western Hemisphere. But that aside, just relax. Nobody really cares what you're saying or feeling or is even thinking about you anyway. They're just waiting to ask that question or waiting for us to stop talking so they could go outside and have a nice walk. So just
okay, I'm better now.
Thanks. As we're alone here, just breathe,
Okay.
relax, be with it. Even don't try to get rid of it. That's part of it. Don't take, we don't have to take it so seriously. I mean, this is a challenge. Easier said than done, but it's good to remind. I'm also nervous when I come up here in front of everybody and I see all these august and learned, enlightened, half-enlightened personages in front, and elders who've heard all the Dharma teachings, who are judging everything I say, and everybody's nervous. Ego is nervousness. That's like the definition.
I don't really know what my question is. I just a lot of times struggle with the feelings surrounding this physical body. I want to be able to, and I know that's efforting, but I wish I could just transcend being pulled back all the time into the physical aspect of
That's a good
my
question.
being.
And there are parts of life where efforting is very important. Just remember, as I've said, in this particular meditation, we're stressing the just being and the non-effort, but there are other areas of life, perhaps like your health or your career or whatever, we're exercising or, I don't know, parenting, whatever, where efforting is very important. So maybe you need to make strenuous efforts to be healthy or to overcome physical obstacles, let's say. But on the other positive side, obstacles can make you stronger and deeper and more empathic with others who have similar, who similarly have obstacles. So there is a pearl to be found from the inner irritation. Like, the oyster has an inner irritation, that's where the pearl gets produced around.
So when I'm meditating and the pain is there, just sit with the pain?
Let's not jump to conclusions. Have you always had pain? Or just, you said you had 9 operations because of some condition. Have you always had trouble with your body, pain, or dealing with discomfort, your body or body image or body, before that? Or we're just talking about this physical problem?
Some body image stuff, but the real physical pain was after.
Right. So are you done with that phase now of the operations and
Yes,
that problem?
yes.
Yeah, that's good. So that's something to appreciate, and savor. That's great. But you're still having pain now?
Yes.
Excuse me. So you're sitting in a chair. Theoretically, this is not a question about how painful it is to sit in the full lotus posture without moving. So do you always have pain sitting in a chair or lying in bed or, I don't know, in the hot tub or at a movie theater or, do you always have physical pain?
It's pretty much in my awareness most of the time.
So can you get comfortable sitting now or, these days here? Find a way to sit comfortably. You notice I have not stressed posture. So can you get comfortable? I mean, for some people, Shavasana, the so-called corpse pose, not the happiest name, but it sounds better in Sanskrit, Shavasana, at the end of yoga, is a great way to meditate, unless you're snoring. So I'm not stressing posture from the point of view of this openness and awareness, leaving it as it is meditation. Maybe that's a great way to meditate, unless you're prone to somnolence, sleepiness, which of course is an obstacle that many of us have. Even if we're sitting up or walking around, you might be dozing. So first, I hope you can try to find a way to get comfortable with whatever cushions or supports or position you need. And then second, and we all have pain, so this is relevant to all of us, body pain or mental pain. There are different styles of meditation. One of the most interesting ones, perhaps I think for modern purposes, speaking in English, the most important one is the mindfulness-based stress reduction, pioneered in the West by John Kabat-Zinn, based on insight of Vipassana meditation. MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. Hopefully you're aware of that. It's in all the hospitals. It's well accepted as a treatment or therapy without Buddhism for chronic pain, including intense chronic pain, like firemen who have broken their back many times or have burns and other kinds of chronic pain. So that's one way to meditate and deal with pain and also raise your awareness. That's not what I'm teaching, but it's all built into the mindfulness aspect of this awareness practice. It's a little more intentful and directed than this Dzogchen non-doing emphasizing effortless effort way of practicing. So that's something that you might well benefit by or integrate into your Dzogchen practice. Because Dzogchen outlook enhances all practices. It's not like you can't do your inner mantra chanting or your yoga or your whatever here. So as we get with the spirit and the view, the outlook of Dzogchen, you'll see it's like distinction or distinctiveness that can be applied to any meditation, view, meditation, and action. This view or outlook or spirit way of being, we call it view or outlook, way of being, can be applied to any meditation or action, work or anything, so that it unifies or transcends and integrates differences like meditation and life, or quiet and noise, or slow and fast, or sacred and profane, or mundane and sacred. So it unifies those distinctions. So now let's talk about the pain situation. In this practice, first of all, relaxation and naturalness is very important. So let's look into ourselves a way of being where we're relaxed and yet very present. Not just like falling asleep and dozing. So we're alert, we're attentive, relaxed and lucidly, alertly present. Combining the gear of idle with the gear of a highway gear. Not just one or the other as we usually are. Charging forward or dropping and flopping. Can we be that relaxed and yet that dynamically present? Presence of dynamic awareness. So aware of the pain is meditation. Just like aware of thoughts is mindfulness. Not stopping thinking, or not thinking holy thoughts instead of others. You with me? So there's consciousness and its contents like thoughts and feelings and perceptions. Then there's mindfulness of consciousness. That's meditation. Mindfulness of breathing. We're all breathing all the time, but we're not very aware of it. Just like we're all thinking all the time, but we're not necessarily aware of it. When we start meditating, new meditators usually say, I'm thinking so much more when I meditate because there's nothing else to do. No. We're just becoming aware of how much thought is always going on in the inner monologue and our projections and interpretations constantly. We're becoming aware of it. That's a goal of meditation, become more self-knowledging, self-aware. So we can choose, so we can manage it better, so we can be with it. So similarly with the pain, aware of the pain and not giving into the aversion to it. Attraction and aversion are two sides of the same kind of a dualistic attachment. I want and I don't want. It's like a door that either opens outward or inward. It's just the same thing. Pushing and pulling, equally exhausting, based on the delusion that we're going to get something out of it that we need. I want, then I'll be happy if I get it. I want not, then I'll be happy when it goes away, Similarly illusory. Happy, Not really, and for how long? Not very long. So resting in the equanimity, the one taste, the equanimity, the objective, non-reactivity, or just seeing it as it is and letting it be as it is. That's the instruction, letting be. Letting go means letting things come and go, arise and fall, all impermanent, momentary, dreamlike phenomena. Letting be. Letting come and go means letting be. Not letting go as in throwing it away. We don't need to throw away our mates and our children and our life. We can let it be a little more. Let it come and go, rise and fall, be with it and be one with it. Let it be. So that's how we relate to the physical pain. Of course, you're allowed to move. I'm not stressing, as in some meditations, never moving. You haven't heard me say that. But you don't want to give in to restlessness. Then you never really get settled either. So you have to find the middle way. That's Buddha's greatest teaching, in my view. The backbone, the heart, the touchstone, the most interesting thing of Buddha's teaching is the middle way. Not mystical, philosophical notions like no self, excuse me, emptiness, other lives. The middle way, balance and moderation. Not too tight, not too loose. Not nihilism, nothing matters, and not materialism. Everything counts and is as solid as I think. The middle way that includes really everything, not just narrow. So relaxed and at ease, and if you're, I don't know, are you used to meditating?
Yes.
What kind of meditation do you usually do?
Vipassana.
So you understand about mindfulness of pain and breathing into the pain and watching it arise and fall. So I'm not going down that road. In the Dzogchen practice, it's more about allowing awareness to proceed unhindered. If you're naming it pain and having aversion, that's already extra. So come back to awareness, aware of itself, just aware of what's happening. In Vipassana, it's called Chitta Vipassana, mindfulness of consciousness. Not mindfulness of breathing, not mindfulness of physical sensations, mindfulness of consciousness. Big sky mind. So I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
And then try to relax with it.
Thank you.
And also remember that pain is the human condition. Whether it's obvious or subtle, that's what Buddha said, the first noble truth, dukkha, dysfunction, dissatisfactoriness. Once you realize that, you stop being so dissatisfied that you can't put an end to the dissatisfactoriness. You see what I'm saying? Once we accept the human condition is frail, is changing, is impermanent, is not in our control entirely. Death and mortality and impermanence are the law of all created things. You can, live with that a little more and then really live. Although we will die, really live. If necessary, with pain, not that we wish it on anyone. And then we have less of the suffering of pain. Just the pain, not the suffering of pain. Some people enjoy pain. I'm not just talking about masochists. Maybe they get ecstatic in painful childbirth. I don't know. I hate to mention it. You know what I'm saying? Pain and suffering are not necessarily the same, as a Vipassana wise guy teacher once said. In life, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. That's a great Buddhist saying. How much we suffer depends on us. You might have a headache, but if you get contracted around and start worrying about it, you might get migraine headache, not just have a little headache. That's the suffering of the pain. Questions? Thank you. That was an important question, so I belabored that, because that's really for all of us. About pain, and particularly about the unwanted. A Buddhist saying is that in life there's nothing unequivocally good or bad. There's only the wanted and the unwanted. I know that's steep, but think about that. It's worthwhile to think about. There's nothing unequivocally good or bad. There's only the wanted and the unwanted. Yes?
My question is about chanting.
Chanting. Mm-hmm.
After a few minutes of chanting, I just get tired of it, and I want to just sit quietly. And my question is about if I should be efforting more and just keep going even though I don't feel like it. It's hard to find, for me, actually, in life, finding the dividing line between effort and pushing.
Right.
And
that's
allowing.
A great koan or conundrum. It could be fruitful to conundrumize about that, to chew on it, not just come to an easy answer. Like, no effort all the time.
Like
always and never are very questionable words. Or always effort all the time. Be a good girl, try harder. Sit straighter. And then what do you get? It may look like a girl, but it's a girl that feels it's never good enough. How's that good parenting? Right? How's that? That's not what we wish for others. So the middle way, all these abstractions could come into play. But specifically about the chanting, are you used to chanting? Do you ever chant? Or sing? Or sing?
I don't sing, but
you don't sing in the shower or sing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you ever chant?
I have chanted at the same thing. After a while, I just get my throat gets tired. But I have a tendency.
Do you ever talk all day or talk a lot, more than 5 minutes? Does your throat get tired?
I don't think I talk that much.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That may be true.
I'm not really sure.
It's like people tell me it's hard to meditate with their eyes open. You know, their eyes get this way. Say, do you ever watch a movie? I mean, we're only sitting here for half an hour with our eyes open. I mean, anybody ever drive anywhere? So that's what our mind's doing. It's not but maybe there's something going on with your throat, or maybe you have to open your throat chakra. I don't know. You can learn how to sing and chant from different traditions and masters that work on that. But from my point of view here, just to keep it simple and short, why don't you just do the chanting as you like and see if you can do a little more and see how it goes. And then, but you don't have to keep chanting just because the other chant fanatics are chanting, or I'm a chant fanatic, just keep going. You know, let us do it for you. Let go and let Buddha do it for you, and you just, you know. But then what are you going to do? That's a serious question. You're going to listen.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel left out?
No, but
You're not going to feel like, but maybe you should be? You're not going to feel, but maybe you should start again? And then maybe you should stop again? Back to restlessness. You see how the mind works? That's why I said, seriously, then what are you going to, if you're not doing the instruction and what everybody's doing, then what are you doing and why, and whose will or whatever are you following there?
My question is always that I don't feel like I'm efforting enough.
Right. So this retreat's a good opportunity to have less effort and see more if you can let go and let the flow through you, because it already is anyway.
Great, thank you.
And you don't have to chant more, and you don't have to do anything really. See how that goes, and how hard that is also when you're free. Then what do you do? That's why I said, okay, you don't have to chant. What are you going to do? And you said, listen. Good. How long are you going to be satisfied just listening?
Thanks.
Sure, you don't have to come to these meditation sessions. You can, what do you want to do? You walk around the woods. How long are you going to be satisfied doing that before you start to wonder if you're missing anything, or maybe you should be doing something else? And that's the samsara condition, always something else, never this. Not that this is it. Everything is it. But when you're in that state, nothing is it. You're never with it. You're always looking for it, never with it. Thank you, I'm glad you're getting it. Any other questions? I know I'm going over time, but I was a little late also. We try to stay on schedule here so that John Dean doesn't get mad. No, so that this whole day works out for us. Yes?
Hi.
Hi.
Is it okay to go deeper into exploring the first question? And it's not necessarily a question, it's hoping to share what has worked for me when I had to go deep into embracing the pain. Is that okay to try to do, or should I just let go?
I think first it's always good to just let go and see how that is. So no, you should really keep that to yourself, because right now if we start with crosstalk, then every day these question and answer periods are going to be a circle sharing rather than like maybe what some people came here for, which was to meet the teaching and the teacher. You know, let me put it more boldly. The work I want to do here is one-on-one. But you do have a deep experience in sharing. I hope you can share it at this closing circle at the end. Because this is a silent retreat, so I'm also not suggesting you talk to her at lunch or write her a note. But we all have valuable things to share, so I don't want to close that down. The last night we have a talking, and then a Sunday we have like a 2-hour, seemingly endless circle sharing, where everybody gets to share their poems and their stories and tell about all the enlightenment or depressing experiences they had here. So I hope you'll do that. Thank you. One more question, then we're going to end, because it's almost a break and then lunchtime.
In our chanting, we chant bodhicitta, and I want to know if you could tell us what's the difference between bodhicitta and metta? Is there a connection?
That's a good question. What's metta? Let's speak English. And what's bodhicitta? Just in case anybody's not following this learned discourse. Yeah, what's metta and what's
my
bodhicitta?
understanding is metta is
Can you put this on the board so everybody knows what we're talking about? Metta is loving kindness.
loving kindness, and
bodhicitta is?
don't know.
Okay, well, I never use foreign words without defining them as I go along, so I've already said bodhicitta, or aspiration for enlightenment, the heart of awakening, this enlightened spirit. Bodhicitta, the Buddha heart, bodhicitta, the awakened consciousness, bodhi, Buddha, citta, consciousness, or awakened heart. So I've also defined loving kindness as, which is the traditional definition. It doesn't just mean love. It's what's called loving kindness. It means wishing well for others, which love may not always be. Have you noticed? Human ideas of love might be a little selfish sometimes. I don't know. That's just me. Loving kindness is defined as wishing well for others. That's one aspect of bodhicitta. But bodhicitta also includes other aspects. It's like the absolute bodhicitta of empty awareness, which is egoless, therefore is one with others. There's no need to wish well for them. One would only do well and be well. You with me? So metta is like relative bodhicitta. It's not even relative bodhicitta because metta is one of the 4 aspects of Buddhist love, the Brahma Viharas, the 4 aspects of Buddhist love, the 4 boundless heartitudes, the Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, compassion, joy, rejoicing in others, and equanimity or impartiality. So relative bodhicitta includes all those 4, and absolute bodhicitta is more a naked and non-dual. You see what I'm saying? So the relative bodhicitta is more like metta and karuna, loving kindness and compassion and generosity and well-wishing and so on. And an absolute side of bodhicitta is the wisdom itself that is non-dual. So it's not wishing well for others. There's no others and no self. In general, in Mahayana Buddhism, the bodhicitta is called the heart of the bodhisattva, the enlightened altruist, the bodhisattva. The Buddha to be, the awakener, the bodhisattva. So bodhicitta is the heart of the bodhisattva. Combining those loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, positive virtues with the more ultimate virtue of prajnaparamita, pure being, non-dual wisdom, not relating, not wishing well for others, being one with all, the union of oneness and noneness. In my book, Awakening the Buddhist Heart, this is well explained. That's what about bodhicitta and the bodhisattva. And Buddha is as Buddha does. The 10 practices of enlightened living is all about the bodhisattva and these kind of virtues. Outer virtues, like we just talked about, inner virtues, and the ultimate virtue of non-dual awareness, enlightened wisdom.